Hi guys, Scott Woodward with you to talk about the World Club Challenge between the best team in the United Kingdom, the Wigan Warriors, and the best team in Australia, the Sydney Roosters. And look, before we talk about the players and how I think the game will pan out, let me tell you some of the big pluses about the Wigan Warriors. Clearly, they won the grand final in the Super League, but they also won the 2013 Challenge Cup. So they won the big double last year. Outstanding effort, whatever you say about the wins, it was an outstanding effort. I personally thought they were both, I wouldn't say lucky, but they were fortunate wins. They certainly weren't decisive wins. So let's just say they had a little bit of luck, but, you know, I can say the same about the Roosters in the grand final. But clearly they were the two best teams in their respective countries for the year. So we have a worthy grand final, if you like, shootout to see who the best club team is in the world. Wigan Warriors in Super League last year were the third most for tries, 159 tries they scored during the year. That's an enormous amount of tries. They were also first for try assists at 129 and line breaks for 210, which suggests to you that they're a very dangerous team. Now, the guy that is the main reason for those try assists and those line breaks and setting them up, if you like, the brains of the team, is their halfback, and that's Blake Green. Halfback, 5'8". He can play both positions, but he's the guy. He's the go-to guy. He's the guy who sets them up. Now, you may remember Blake Green. He's played in 3 NRL clubs, and to be fair to him, he was a borderline first grader. He struggled to hold down a full-time position in first grade, and it's probably fair to say he wasn't ready for first grade. Now, he's gone over to the UK and he's matured as a footballer and as an organiser, and he reads the game incredibly well now. And there's no doubt he's a much better player now. And while he mightn't come to Australia with a big reputation, there's no doubt that he's a lot better than what he was last time he played here. And he is definitely the main danger man for the Roosters. That's Blake Green. Now, one of the big negatives they've got is the key outs that they've had. They've lost their champion fullback, Sam Tompkins, who's gone to the New Zealand Warriors. Lee Mossop has gone to the Parramatta Eels. Pat Richards, who's gone to the Western Suburbs Tigers. And also they've lost Harrison Hanson and also young Sam Powell, who they lost last week in a trial game in New Zealand. And Sam, I think, probably would have been the starting hooker had he been okay to play. He's a real fine for the Warriors, and he looks to have representative football written all over him, and it's a shame we're not going to see him in Australia. Sam Powell, he would have been playing hooker, and he would have been very, very dangerous. Got a high work rate, makes a lot of tackles. He's a big loss. So we're talking about no Sam Tompkins, Mossop, Richards, Hanson, Powell. Let me just underline to you how important no Tompkins and Richards is. Those two guys scored 39 tries last year between them. 39 tries, that's an incredible amount of points. And between both of them, obviously Richards being the goal kicker, that's 203 points that these two guys accumulated between them last year. Now, those guys aren't playing, so obviously Wigan have to come up with a new goal kicker, and they have to come up with a new playmaker and someone who can put the ball over the line. They've certainly done very well in recruiting Matty Bowen from North Queensland, an outstanding player. Certainly should have played a lot more representative football than what he did when he was in Australia, but sadly for him, he played the position of fullback, and he had a couple of blokes like Billy Slater and Greg Inglis in front of him, and it was pretty hard for him to get a Guernsey. But he certainly would have been a worthy fullback for Queensland and Origin, and he certainly would have been a worthy fullback for Australia. He wouldn't have let anybody down. He's that good and he's that classy, and I'm sure Matty Bowen will do very well. But you have to say, not having Sam Tompkins is a massive loss. There's no doubt about that. He's certainly the best player in the United Kingdom, or he was last year before he came to New Zealand, and he's certainly the best back I've ever seen play for England. So he's a massive loss. We've talked about Blake Green. One of the negatives, and we've talked about the positives in most tries and try assists and line breaks, etc. Wigan Warriors last year, they were only 9th for runs from dummy half. Now, that suggests to me that the hooker, Mike McIlorum, doesn't make a lot of runs from dummy half. The other thing I'll point out about the hooker, McIlorum, is he missed 72 tackles last year, which is the second worst in Super League. and he was only 7th in runs from dummy half. So that suggests to me that he's not a good defender and he doesn't make a lot of runs. He's not that dangerous with the ball. And that will suit the Roosters very, very nicely. Thank you very much. Also, a big surprising stat for me with the Wigan Warriors is that they were last out of the 14 Super League teams for offloads. Now, if they're going to beat the Roosters, they're going to have to create a lot of second phase play. They're not going to beat them one out. And if they don't have any guys in their forward pack who can create second phase play, they're going to be easy prey for the Sydney Roosters. So that's a big red flag for them. I want to talk a little bit about their opposition now, the Roosters. Obviously, everyone in Australia knows them very well. But while we know they're a great defensive team, they kept 6 teams to 0 last year in the NRL. And some of those teams included Manly. Just an amazing statistic. It's the greatest defensive record that the club has ever had in over 100 years. Keeping 6 teams to 0, it's just unheard of, and it's just an amazing defensive achievement. They, on the negative side, look, we haven't got the official teams yet for the Roosters, but looking at them at training, I'm strongly suggesting to you that their best defensive forward, Isaac Liu, will not be playing, and he's a big, big loss because he covers up a lot of ground for them. And I want to also say to you that they've also lost, or I'm assuming they'll lose their best defender and line breaker in Roger Tavasa-Sheck. He looks like he's not ready. He could probably play if it was a grand final, but I don't think they're going to risk him with first grade starting in about 2.5 weeks' time. I don't think he'll be risked. So I'm expecting them to go with Isaac Liu and Roger Tavasa-Sheck. I'll expect that Shaun Kenny-Dowall in the centre position will move to the wing, and their very versatile, classy utility Mitch Aubusson will move to the centre. That's what I think will be happening with the Roosters. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of their players. I touched a little bit about on Bowen. I think he's a perfect fit for him, but having said that, it is a drop down. He's not Sam Tompkins. They get a very good inning, Josh Charnley. We talked about the amount of tries he scored last year. I think 34 tries last year, just an amazing effort. He has been injured, but he comes in and he's a very big in for them. Blake Green's halves partner, Mike Smith. Now, while he combines very well with Blake Green and they've got a very good understanding between each other, and Blake Green is the good defender, if you like, out of the two of them, and he's also a very good organiser. But Mike Smith is not a good defender. He's got a poor missed tackle track record. I've already talked about the hooker, McIlorum. He's not a good defender. So we're talking about the halfback and the hooker both being not good defenders. And, of course, we know Bowen is not a good defender either. He's only a little guy. So I think you can find that the Roosters will be doing a lot of running up the middle third, running directly at the little hooker, the little halfback, and Matty Bowen. And some of those big guys in the Roosters pack, you would think would have a field day. Some of the outstanding players in this forward pack for Wigan, clearly their best forward is their skipper, Shaun O'Loughlin. We've seen plenty of him in the World Cup, and he's just an absolute class act. So is Farrell, and so is Flower. They're real tough nuts, and they'll give good go forward, and they'll be dangerous every time they've got the ball. One of their good off-season purchases, John Bateman, comes into the side with a big reputation. He may very well play off the bench. I'm doing this preview not having any teams in front of me from either club. So I'm guessing what I think the Wigan side will look like and what the Roosters side will look like. But I think you'll find that I'll be pretty close. So when we look at the forward pack, I don't think Wigan are going to lose that much up against the Roosters. But where the Roosters will have a big advantage will be in their back line. And I'm saying that, and they're going to be without Roger Tavasa-Sheck. And Anthony Miller will retain that fullback position, and I think he will for a fair while into the 2004 NRL season until Roger gets himself 100% fitness and he's able to play that demanding position of fullback. At some stage, I'd expect that Mini will hand it over to Roger. But the other side in the Roosters, you know very well, it's basically the grand final side. Tupou, Jennings, I said Aubusson will move into the centres. Kenny-Dowall will go to the wing. Maloney and Pearce. Pearce went so well in the nines on the weekend in New Zealand. He looks like he's come back better than ever, Pearce, with that confidence under his belt from a very good year last year under his new coach. He looks set for another big year, Mitch Pearce. I think the starting forwards will be Jared Waerea-Hargreaves and Sam Moa. Jake Friend obviously will be the hooker. Guerra will come in with Sonny Bill Williams, and I expect that on the interchange will be Mortimer, Frank Paul Nuasala, and the young gun forwards, the props, Dylan Napper and Kane Evans. I think will probably be the two guys off the bench who come on and play prop. So look, this is not the best Roosters side. They're clearly underdone, but they're brilliantly coached. They'll be very well prepared, and simply because they're playing at the Sydney Football Stadium, the Roosters' home ground, where they proved almost unbeatable last year. And while it's said that the Wigan Warriors have had a better preparation, they've had one club game and a trial game in the UK, plus a trial game in New Zealand. They're probably a much fitter side, a much hardened side, match fit hardened side. I think that the class of the Roosters, plus the home ground, will get them home pretty comfortably. And in fact, despite the fact that the Warriors have got a track record of making a lot of line breaks and a lot of tackle breaks, and that's what their stats suggest, I'm suggesting to you that they will be going very, very well if they can score a try here. And I think that the Roosters can go on and win this game and yet again not concede a point. So I'm tipping that the Roosters will win this game by 20 points to 0. And while the prices reflect that it is going to be an easy Roosters victory, I think the market's got it right. And in fact, I think it should even be shorter. I think they're genuine $1.10 pops. I know they'll be revved up for this game. Yes, they may very well be a little bit underdone, but I think because of the occasion, and you've got players like Sonny Bill Williams in the side, I think that they'll be far too classy, and I expect the Roosters to score an avalanche of tries here, 4 or 5 tries to 0, and I think it'll be an easy win for the Roosters. But let me say, I think it'll be a great game, and I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these class forwards of the Wigan Warriors, and also Matty Bowen running around in a Warriors shirt. It'll be fantastic to see. So, look, I hope you enjoyed. I'll certainly be out there and trying to get an early front seat. And it should be a great game. Look forward to talking to you during the year. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can always get the YouTubes as they come out each week, and go through to my blog, scottwoodward.me, if you want any free bets from all the bookies. I'm up to date with the latest and the greatest of free bets and bonus bets to you, and if they're available, they'll be on my blog. Look forward to talking to you soon. Cheers.